All right, we're good to go over here. Getting ready for our semifinal match. Yeah, if you've been liking the show so far and you haven't heard of our podcast, we're the Disorganized Wizards Club Podcast. We have weekly episodes. Our cast sponsored by wizardtower.com, as you can see on our stream here. Great sponsor, our podcast for the whole 3 years we've been doing this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to support the cast at all, you can check us out at patreon.com/DWC, Disorganized Wizards Club.
Yeah.
Full name. I was just shortening it to DWC out of habit.
And let's hop right in. We've got our semifinal starting here. The DWC Organizational Simic Food versus Mono Red.
Instant ship.
Quick ship back of that 7-card hand from Benson.
Yeah, it was a disdainful stroke of Crisis and 5 lands against Mono Red. Ship it.
Not what you want there.
This hand also not good.
I mean, you're going to keep it, though.
Yeah, you're on the play. You're on the play, so you can keep it. But, I mean, it's not great. But it can get there. I mean, there's none of the cards that just insta-win you the matchup, though. There was no Oko, no Goose, and we're not seeing them. And that's what it comes down to for this deck to really smash Mono Red is they need to have those really powerful food-oriented cards.
Fervent Champion coming in, dealing 2 points of damage so far. Benson down at 18. Follow up a Runaway Steamkin on turn 2. Not a bad start for our Mono Red player, but we've got Benson getting out that questing beast on his turn 3, getting in for 4 damage.
I wonder if there's a Slaying Fire here. I feel like if there's a Slaying Fire, this game is a little different. That Paradise Druid's doing a lot of work, though, and it's going to result in a Nissa next turn. Man, I feel like this matchup is just rough for Mono Red. Because even here, they're already at a lower life total.
Yeah, notably, we didn't see an early Oko. Looks like P-Sams is going towards casting 2 shocks to get this questing beast on the board, pumping up his Runaway Steamkin to a 3/3. And we're going to be getting in for a decent chunk of damage here.
So if he has a light up the stage here, this is probably nuts. Or it could be a Rimrock Knight, which is also nuts. Yeah.
Getting that very important 3rd counter on the Runaway Steamkin, getting in for a lot of damage, down to 11. Is he going to use his mana? If he can have a removal spell here for this Paradise Druid and set back Benson a turn from getting that Nissa on the board, that would have been pretty good for him.
Yeah, I don't think he has it, but this is still pretty good. The 3/3 from Nissa will be very annoying. The Nissa is going to be a problem, absolutely. But on the plus side, well, yeah, this is going to be an issue. The 3/3 is definitely an issue. It depends what he's holding. If he's holding something like Experimental Frenzy, he can come back from this for sure. But yeah, it's going to be close.
Well, let's see what Phil Sams has here. If he's unable
this is a tank.
If he's unable to get this Nissa off this board, this Hydroid Crisis is going to be huge.
It's over.
That's going to be real tough to fight.
But the thing is, if Benson plays this Goose, do you think he learned a lesson? Do you think he blocks?
That's tough.
This could be game.
I mean, if everything goes out his face, I think you're kind of priced in to throwing that Goose in front
of the Runaway Steamkin.
Yeah,
but you could still die. Well, not if it's lands. Now we got ourselves a game.
Skewer going upstairs. Is he coming in? He's coming in. 5 points of damage coming through. What's this last card?
Have it?
Is it a skewer?
No,
it's not. Oh boy.
Yikes.
So this is a big crisis.
This is close. This is really close.
This is tough. How big of the crisis are you making here?
As big as possible.
Big as possible?
No, because I almost want to leave back 2 blockers.
Exactly, right? You kind of... I guess you leave the Paradise Druid back, and then you have your big...
Yeah.
Oh,
he's going for
tapping
it.
that Druid. Get the extra point of power on that Hydroid Crisis. I'm not sure that was worth it.
Yeah, the extra point. He needed to leave back a blocker.
Yeah.
He just kills him. That's like if P-Sams has a Bone Shocker Giant, the game's over, right?
Yep. A lot of things.
If he has any burn spell, kills him here. A Rimrock Knight. Just not lands in his hand, and I think he wins.
What is it?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yikes.
Oh, no.
Drawn one too many lands there on the mono red side. And
Oh, no.
losing that game at 1.
Couldn't punish him. There's no reason you go for the extra 1 point there.
Yeah.
And he couldn't punish him.
He gave him the window and he didn't punish.
Yeah.
Oof.
Feels bad.
All right, so what do we we're getting these disdainful strokes out of the main deck here. And let's get some Hydras in fight. Looks like he's leaving 1 in. Maybe a nod towards Frenzy or Torbrand. I'm not sure.
I assume he's taking them out.
He's leaving the 1 in. He notably didn't bring in any Aether Gusts. Is that a card you're interested in this matchup? Definitely a Gust over Stroke,
but definitely
right?
a Gust over Stroke, but I don't really think I want either. I don't know. I mean, you really just want to have the same game plan, right? Ramp out a Nissa.
Yep.
Play a Hydra Crisis.
Exactly.
That's how you win. And you use Questing Beast to bridge the gap. You know, turn 2 Dork or whatever. Turn 3 Questing Beast. And, go from there. That's your best draws. And I say this because the Paradise Druid in some ways is better, I think, than the Goose because it has hexproof. You can just for sure get out your 4-drop that bridges the gap, and Questing Beast is really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So I would keep this.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
No 1 mana accelerant, but you have a Once Upon a Time. You have a turn 2 Paradise Druid. Not terrible. Oh, there's your 1 mana accelerant. Curious if you want to actually cast it this turn. Finding an untapped land here, I think, kind of
seals
locks that in.
You definitely do. I would have taken the island just in case. For some reason, I want the untapped blue source, but it's probably irrelevant.
Now, next turn, you can cast the Paradise Druid, or you could even cast a Hydra for 1 to pick off this Scorch Spitter, depending on what happens here. But most likely, this Goose getting cooked.
Goose confirmed cooked. Scorch Spitter getting in there.
All right.
I mean, you just scry and play the other Goose, right?
Yep.
Keeping that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the 4-drops in the Simic food deck are just so good.
Yeah, this draw really coming together here for Benson. Let's see what PSAMs can bring to the table. Is it just a land into that Bone Crusher Giant, or are we cooking this Goose? Another Bone Crusher Giant. Second Goose cooked. Spitter coming in for 2.
Out here cooking. That Spitter's done 4 damage. That's nuts. Yeah, you get Paradise Druid down here. But the problem is, again, I feel like this matchup is just so hard for Mono Red because we're looking at, he's going to be Benson's not going to block. So you're going to put him to 14. But then the game's over, basically. It's so hard to get enough in early, it feels like, before this Nissa comes down.
Yeah, PSAM's found his 3rd land there for that Bone Crusher Giant. But now, this Wicked Wolf could very easily pick it off.
Yeah. This is the problem I have in some ways with Bone Crusher Giant, is this. It's like inefficient mana usage for mono red.
Okay.
I still think the card's good because you get so much value out of it, but in the scenarios where your draw lines up like this, you just can't trade 1 spell for 1 spell with this deck because look what happens.
Yeah.
And I feel like the games he does well are Rimrock Knight, actually. That card's wild. It's aggressive and low to the ground and lets you play double spells for cheap. Whereas 3 mana is a lot, I feel like, for a creature out of mono red that's just a 4/3.
Yeah. Now, real awkward situation for Phil Sam, staring down this 4/4 Wicked Wolf with a food still at bay. Paradise Druid untapped. And, this Nissa next turn is...
You could still grind out enough damage here. Mono red has a lot of cards in hand. Benson didn't block. There isn't a Hydra Crisis here yet. You know what I mean? We're not dead. I mean, this might find one. But we play the Nissa here because if we find a Hydra Crisis, I think it's over. I mean, this is also an okay line. This probably lets you close out the game faster, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, you have to take out this Bone Crusher Giant, get in for 4 points of damage if you want.
Yeah.
You have the ground completely locked down with your 4/5 now on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and now I think you're just two attacks away from winning. And mono red's in this really horrible position. Yeah, it's tough. The Simic matchup just feels really rough.
Yeah.
I feel like if you expected more Golos, which everyone in the field did.
Yeah, I mean,
mono red is way better. Ooh.
Active Treason is an interesting one.
Oh, I mean, this puts him to 6. I mean, this might be next turn.
Do we have a Skewer the Critic to put him to 3?
Well, I have a feeling it might be next turn.
Ooh, how much damage is this? 14 damage coming the other way.
That's not enough. There is a chance here that he goes attack you with Spitter, puts you to 5, because he doesn't have a way to kill the Spitter. Put you to 5, shock, skewer you.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Do you
I'm
think
Benson,
if he had the Skewer last turn, he would have used it?
No, because he could be waiting. He did it before. He's a super patient player.
True. Yeah.
So he could steal this one here, and he missed a land drop, right?
Yeah, he missed a land drop on his turn 3.
We could see just a Galaxy Brain play here again.
Let's see how aggressive Benson gets.
I mean, you got to serve. You got to serve with everything. Because you're dead. You know you're dead to 2 burn spells, so.
Mm-hmm. Benson opting to leave back 2 other blockers with his 3/3 land. Really wants to make sure he doesn't get cheesed out, but you're not.
Well, no, he gains 3 life. Sorry, I forgot. He can leave up for the food. That's why he didn't serve all. Yep. Right. Sorry, I forgot the food was on the board. That's tough.
Well, you still have the Forest on defense that can block and then sack the food as well.
No, that's what I mean. You're not dead to burn spells.
Yeah.
So
I think it might have been worth it to serve in with that other 4/4 there.
I agree.
Get your opponent down to 5.
I agree. Yeah, I think P. Sams is dead here. I think this spells the end of a really good run. His only 2 losses were to exactly Benson back to, throughout the whole tournament was to this Simic food deck and otherwise.
All right, you know what? Also, Benson could have been playing around another Active Treason there.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, sort of the same thing, because I'm assuming you'd be taking one of the 4 power creatures anyway.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting spot here. 5 cards in hand still for P. Sams. Staring down 6 life. That's not a lot when you're a mono red player, but that's
didn't
it.
Have it. Yeah. Well,
that's it.
Congrats to P. Sams on a good run, and congrats to Benson advancing to the finals.
On to the finals for the second time in a row.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row.
Back-to-back finals for Benson.
I'm just gonna run the. Get right back.
Gonna jump out.
Yeah, and take a look if